Before we begin, imagine being publicly humiliated just because you're a single father trying to enjoy lunch with your son. But what if that father wasn't who everyone thought he was? In today's unbelievable story, the mayor's daughter makes one cruel mistake that triggers a chain of events powerful enough to destroy her father's political career forever. If you enjoy emotional stories with shocking twists and meaningful lessons, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next story. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get started. Daniel Carter adjusted the sleeves of his faded blue work shirt as he sat at a picnic table in a crowded public park in Dallas, Texas. Across from him, his 8-year-old son, Ethan, happily unwrapped a homemade turkey sandwich while talking excitedly about his upcoming school science project. Daniel smiled with quiet pride. Life had not been easy since his wife passed away 3 years earlier. But every spare dollar and every free moment was devoted to giving Ethan a stable, loving home their simple lunch. Under the shade of a large oak tree was one of the few peaceful moments they shared each week. Around them, families laughed. Children played on the swings, and office workers enjoyed their lunch breaks. Daniel noticed expensive cars pulling into the nearby parking lot, but paid little attention. He was focused on Ethan's stories and the smile that brightened his son's face. A few moments later, Victoria Collins, the mayor's daughter, arrived with several fashionable friends. Dressed in designer clothes and wearing expensive sunglasses, she attracted attention the moment she stepped into the park. As she walked past Daniel's table, she slowed down, looked at his worn boots and inexpensive lunch, then smirked. "Lunch from home," she said loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. Some people really don't know how to present themselves in public. Her friends burst into laughter. Victoria didn't stop there. She glanced at Ethan and added, "Your dad should at least dress like he belongs in this city. You're making this place look bad." The laughter grew louder. Several people looked uncomfortable but remained silent. Ethan lowered his head, gripping his sandwich tightly as tears formed in his eyes. Daniel gently placed a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder, refusing to react in anger. Instead, he calmly reached into his pocket, unlocked his phone, and made a brief phone call. "Proceed with the scheduled action," he said in a steady voice. "It's time." He ended the call, looked back at Ethan, and smiled as if nothing had happened. Neither Victoria nor anyone else in the park realized that Daniel Carter was far more than an ordinary single father, and that one phone call was about to change the Collins family's future forever. The following morning, Dallas City Hall buzzed with its usual activity. Employees hurried through the hallways carrying files. Reporters waited outside for scheduled interviews, and Mayor Richard Collins prepared for a press conference celebrating a new city development project. Everything appeared perfectly normal, and no one suspected that the day would take a dramatic turn. Shortly before the event began, several black SUVs pulled into the parking lot. Men and women wearing official federal identification stepped out and entered the building with calm confidence. They carried sealed documents authorizing a formal investigation into allegations of public corruption, financial misconduct, and abuse of office involving senior city officials. Inside the mayor's office, the atmosphere changed instantly. Conversations stopped as investigators presented legal documents and requested access to records, computers, and financial files. Staff members exchanged nervous glances, while reporters outside noticed the unexpected activity and rushed toward the entrance. Within minutes, television cameras were broadcasting the developing story, live across the city at home. Victoria Collins stared at the television in disbelief. The same confidence she had displayed at the park the previous afternoon disappeared as news anchors reported that federal investigators had been examining the mayor's administration. For months, Daniel Carter's name appeared briefly on the screen. Not as an ordinary father, but as a respected federal ethics investigator leading part of the inquiry. Victoria suddenly remembered the quiet man she had mocked. In the simple phone call he made after she publicly humiliated him, she realized he had never argued because he didn't need to. His authority came from integrity, not status or wealth. As the investigation continued, Mayor Collins announced his resignation, stating he would cooperate with legal authorities. Several officials were placed on administrative leave while evidence was reviewed. Standing outside the courthouse later that week, Daniel held Ethan's hand and watched the news crews from a distance. He had never sought revenge or public attention. His only goal had always been to uphold the law and teach his son that respect, honesty, and character are worth far more than power, privilege, or public influence.